Yes. How's it going? You know, whenever you see me here, something new is coming in the house. Today, I'm going to talk to you about a very interesting thing you need to learn about, you need to know. But before we start, I want you to subscribe to the channel so we can learn together because you and I are learning together. All right, so as you can see on the board, I'm talking about between and among. Between and among. And sometimes people say amongst. Amongst is usually used in British language, all right? Between and amongst. We're gonna establish the difference, and from now on, you will know when to use between and when to use among. You with me? Yes, I. Um, Oftentimes, when people talk about between, they usually say it is like when you talk about like two people, between two people or two things. And when they talk about amongst, they say when you talk about a group of things. But if you want to be fancy, if you want to be more accurate, if you want to be more cute in your saying, we can use this one. When you want to talk about relationship of distinct of equal entity, relationship, you use between when you talk about relationship of distinct or equal entity. Let's say we talk about you and I, between you and I, okay? Between you and I, between Mary and Laura, who do you like the most? In three things, okay? Between this gallon and between this gallon and the computer, which one do you want? Two things, two people, or when you want to talk about relationship, most likely. Let's see. Between Janet and Laura, who is taller? Between Janet and Laura, who is more beautiful? Between Janet and Laura, who do you like the most? Okay. Between is when you talk about relationship between two things, between two people. They can be distinct, like two different things. Talk about human and things, or they can be two things. They can be equal. Like I'm talking about a human being. Between Janet and Laura, they are two human beings. But if I'm talking about between this dog and this cat, they are two distinct animals. Okay, two distinct animals. So you use between between use between two things, all right? Two things, most likely they can be distinct or they can be equal. Distinct, this computer and a cat. Equal, human being. Between John and Peter, between Sam and John, all right? Get that. um okay, and another example, I can say let me. Okay, I'll just read between for you. Okay, see, let me sit between. Oh, Lord, I can type. Let me sit between Paola and Mary. All right, between. Let me sit between Paola and Mary. Okay. Now we talk about among, say among, or some people say amongst. Amongst is mainly used in British language. If you went to UK, most of the time you're gonna hear amongst, not among, but they mean the same thing. All right, so among is used when you wanna talk about like collectivity. When you want to talk about a group of people, a group of things, when you want to collectively talk about something that is more than two or a group of people. So let us dance amongst ourselves. Let us dance, let us play, let us fight, let us dance, let us talk among ourselves. Let us do homework amongst ourselves. Let me put that on the board for you. And said, if you want to talk collectively about a group of people, about a group of things, you use among. Let's see together. Okay. Let us play amongst ourselves. Let us play among ourselves. So you and I and John and Peter and Pierre and Joanne and Samuel, let us play among ourselves. You and I and them, we're gonna play together. Okay. All right. Let us play amongst ourselves. Um, the student from the University of Dubuque are playing among themselves. Okay. The student from the University of Dubuque, the student for the Harvard University are playing among themselves. They are doing homework among themselves. So it's more than one person. Okay. More than one and more than two people. More than two people, three, four, five, you use amongst. I hope you understand, and this is the end of the video. But before I go, I want to remind you, you use among and between all the time. And sometimes people use one for the other. Sometimes people want to say among, they use between. Sometimes they want to say between, they use among. That can be understandable. Okay, that can be understandable. However, if you want to use them well, if you want to use the proper English or the proper English to put them in a sentence so that like you are fancy in your sentence, you are correctly grammatically correct, you want, what did I just say? You want to use between two people or two things when you talk about relationship between you and I. Okay, but you use among when you want to talk about a group of people.